This is Django Knight, and he's scared. Why are you scared, Django?
I'm scared because I don't know, man. You're like probably one of the best guitar players out there, and I don't know, man. I don't do good with
With pressure?
I don't. Yeah, bro. I really
Dude,
don't.
I found out about you because somebody was watching my live feed. It's like, this guy, and you were live too, and I was just like, no, and I was just like punched. I was like, oh damn, and I just started watching, and I've been a fan ever since. I love your playing.
I'm about to have an anxiety attack.
You should. Don't cry, Django.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool.
So you do a lot
good.
of shit. You play, you build guitars.
Yeah,
Like,
man. I play and build. You know, it's I do a bit of both. I mean, obviously, I'm a player first, and music nerd first. I mean, music nerd for stuff I like, I guess. But yeah, I build guitars. I do have my own guitar company that is launching, and the goal pretty much will be to offer people, hand built guitars, hand wound pickups. I wind my own pickups. Basically offer someone a custom shop quality instrument for a really killer price, because it brings me back to being a kid and not being able to go in the store and off the wall find a guitar that was just amazing.
yeah.
For the price point.
How
So
are you
really,
how are you knocking the price? Because I could see that, like, you're selling stuff for a third of what, like, a Sur
yeah,
guitar
I
would
mean,
cost or
well,
something.
well, I mean, that's the thing, man. It's not me knocking the price. It's the other companies,
Inflating
ripping
it?
people off. Yeah, I hate to look, dude. I don't care anymore. I'm one of these people where, look, I'm 20. I just turned 25, and when I was 17, I signed with Fender and worked with Fender, and I endorsed their cheapest products, like the Squier Classic Vibes, because I wanted to endorse stuff that when young people and kids come up to me, other people that were my age at the time would come up to me and say, "Man, I really love your tone. What are you using?" And it's a Squier, because it doesn't, dude. I mean, to me, guitar and I'm not a tone junkie or a gearhead as you might expect or one might expect. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. Like, if as long as it plays good, it feels good. If you like it, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, and my thing here is, like, dude, I'm not knocking, Fender or knocking any other companies out there that charge you all kinds of money, but this is really basic stuff. If you know what you're doing, this is basic stuff, and if you're a good craftsman and you know how to, do things the right way. The stuff is not rocket science, it's rocket construction. So,
Yeah. That's
it's
awesome.
very, very simple stuff,
Dude, can you play me a blues? Can you show me some blues
Man,
licks?
you're silly, bro.
Come on.
I can't. Let me tune this thing real quick, man. I just put this together like yesterday, so give me a second.
Looks beautiful.
Let me get this tuned up. Thank you, man. It's actually not mine, it's a customer's, but I try to run these things to the paces when I build them, and
How many guitars are you knocking out, like, in a year?
in a year, so since September, I've built 30.
Oh, wow.
So it's not that. It takes me about a week, 2 weeks to build one, and get it knocked out. So,
I can already hear that snappy and nice.
yeah, it's this thing's sweet, man. I wound these pickups with plain enamel wire, so they do have a warmer sound and something I really, really like. So I'll show you. You got me.
Yeah, yeah.
Back to embarrass myself, man. I don't know. Blues lick. I mean,
Yeah. Just
bro,
play
I
one of
can't
your
do it.
songs, dude.
Stop.
You can do this. You can do this. You can do this.
No, man. I don't know what to play, man. Look,
One of yours.
I'm more of a funk guy, man. I mean, I like writing riffs. I feel I'm a big fan of, like, Aerosmith, and I'm a big fan of riff bands like that. A lot of Michael Jackson songs had riffs in them, and I like music like that. So
Yeah.
one of the songs on my new record that'll be coming out is called "Steady Rollin' Soldier," and I'm not going to sing it because my voice right now is like it's not happening. Um, but and I just want to let people know, like, the fact that I have sunglasses on, it's not a thing. I literally just woke up and my head hurts and I have makeup on right now. It's just not a good situation. But anyway, the riff is like this, man. So that's a
Nice.
simple, simple little funk thing, whatever.
Dude, I love the kind of snap you get. Like it's so percussive. It's really different than like how I play. Like my technique. Like even when I'm doing stuff like that, is really coming out of more gypsy jazz and like just play everything. You have like a lot of subtlety in the funk thing, and a lot of kind of interesting strumming patterns. When you're doing that stuff right there, you have like a lot of those like down.
Yeah,
Like what's happening?
It's a very syncopated thing, yeah.
What's happening in your right hand when you're doing that?
Well, I use these little picks by Dunlop, called, Jazz Series. Everybody pretty much. What do you use? You use Jazz Series?
No, I use like big the Gator grips, 1.5s. Yeah.
Okay. No, man, it's a
So you're holding
thing
it.
that most
You're
guys
holding it
do.
upside down, kind of thing.
No, sometimes I'll hold, sometimes I'll hold it
Fat
and use
side?
the fatter edge, but for the most part, I use this one, and I have like gigantic hands, so me holding this little pick, I only get the very little tip of it, and it really allows me to get that spanky thing, and I do have a more of aggressive attack to just playing guitar in general. So, but as far as the right hand stuff, I've always been a big fan of seeing guitar players that. Whatever, I'm very
Sounds good.
so John Mayer's really good at that stuff, and but where I started developing my right hand early as like a kid, I started playing guitar when I was like 11. So when I started developing my right hand, it was from listening to like live versions of Stevie Ray Vaughan play "Mary Had a Little Lamb." It'd be like. Anyway, and then like the solo section, they would do this thing, with Reese Winans playing keys and the rest of the boys. It'd be a really really fast, So
yeah. I really like
it's
like just alternating, but you got those accents in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, I mean, you could get the. And then you can throw the little.
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
whenever I throw that triplet out, I sometimes lose the pattern. Like I like started off in a weird place in rhythm, and then I'm like on the other side of it with the downstrokes. I'm like, oh shit!
Same thing, bro.
You got to really know how to come back.
It's a trip, man. And I'm like inside. I'm like, dude, I can't believe that you're musical enough to. I mean, I believe it, obviously, but. What I'm saying is the fact that you play the style you do and you're musically so eclectic that you can appreciate somebody simple like me who just plays electric guitar, pretty much. I don't do anything. I mean, I play the same licks that everyone else does, and I try to make the uniqueness more so come from the whole music aspect of it, of what I'm doing. So I can really appreciate, you even just having me on here to do this stuff, man. It's really blowing my mind. So.
Oh well, Django, that's actually not true because I see guitar players all the time, and you might think that, but you sound much better than them. Like it's just but it's like
man, but.
but it's not like to me. I think maybe like when you come from the rock world and like a lot of the notes it's like people playing this fusion and jazz world seem like, oh my god, what are they thinking? Then that seems like the thing. But for us, those notes, I hear people playing like, those kind of harmonic things all the time. But at the end of the day, it's like how good your sound is. What if are you playing interesting rhythms and is it coming together in a musical way? And you're definitely.
I think of that stuff too. I heard. I'm a big Prince fan. Everybody must know that. But I'm a big Prince fan, and one of the things he said when I watched the Arsenio Hall interview, like back in 2013, is he was like, when I hear other people's music, I'm like usually rearranging in my head type thing. And I musically think the same way. So when I'm listening to somebody's stuff, I have to make myself actually try to accept what it is and find the magic that's in it. Because it's always there. Like there's always a place. It's kind of like effects pedals. For example, we all have our own identity tone wise, and even from like an effects standpoint, what your stuff sounds like electrically or even acoustically, but effects pedals, like I might say, man, I don't like that full tone pedal because it sounds too harsh. But yet you have to think musical enough to where, dude, there's a sound for that. There's somewhere musically that is going to work. And it's that guitar player's job to make sure that musically he can get that to fit somewhere in a song. It's kind of like a challenge. So I mean that's kind of the way I think of the stuff.
It's like how if you have colors and you have to figure out how to make them fit in a picture.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's our creativity. It's like
it's a lot more than just than just wiring up a bunch of pedals, turning knobs, like it sounds good. Because I mean shitty tones like a shitty tone like this, But there's somewhere, my point is somewhere there's a place for that. There's a place to that buzz. There's
doesn't sound shitty at all. That was good.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a place for, there's a place for a whammy pedal. There's a place for a chorus. There's a place for a delay. There's, no matter how someone has it set, and that's the unique thing about music and making sounds, So I like to make music more so than I like to play this thing. This is fun, but
let's talk about that lick you just played. What was going on there?
Oh, I have no idea.
What are they? Those cascading runs you do. I really like that. Like,
well,
technically, what are you doing when you're doing those like backward pentatonic kind of things?
Yeah, so it's all based off the Eric Johnson. I'm tired of hearing people say certain guitar players that are modern right now that are popular. We all know. I'm not even gonna get in this.
Yeah, Joe Bonamassa's a fucking thief. You can say it. Hey, Joe Bonamassa ripped the shit out of that guy.
Wait a minute. But wait. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. He is one of the most eclectic, incredible modern guitar players ever. And this is my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own. I've had the pleasure of seeing this man right in front of me play things that are just mind blowing, and his technique and his precision is unmatched. But to me, it all stems from like the Eric Johnson stuff, which I'm not good at playing at all. But the thing about it is like knowing all your notes on the fretboard, which I don't, I'm not even about to get all technical because I'm the least technical person ever. So, but I know that it stems from knowing, G, whatever, knowing all your where all your G's are, whatever, So, I mean, if I'm, oh shit. you know.
I just love your vibrato, dude. It's like the whole world is shaking. Ah, dude.
You know, I sometimes I watch my stuff back and I'm like, dude, I use too much vibrato, or it's just not.
No, don't stop.
But no, so the fast licks are like for I'll do it in C because it's easier. So I usually start my phrases. Everybody has a way they start their phrases, especially in blues or in funk. Which I'm basically what I do is take funk and essentially I play bluesy shit over funk. You know, so it's like so if we're you know,
Oh, dude, like your right hand, you're doing so many things. Like, like kind of landing on that, kind of cutting through the strings, landing on a mute with those like.
well,
Wee,
I
da, da,
get
do,
that
ba,
from,
da, do.
totally. I get that from just being trying to maintain being rhythmic even when I'm soloing. So you know, if we're you know, it's kind of like knowing always where the one is. You know,
Yeah, but it's like I think that the thing
especially
that like the
you know,
people watching you are probably asking themselves technically is like how to me there are really three worlds when I see you playing like this. There's the world of playing the riff, which is kind of a looser right hand thing. Then you slam into the top strings with like playing those like single notes, and then you're also kind of in the bass side of the guitar playing a bass line sometimes with like a.
things. You're such a musical person that you're breaking down things that I like. It would take me 10 minutes of listening to that to break that down.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
you're going.
and
Like I don't even know how you do that, but like it's like
oh come on, man, you're silly.
so, but no, you're getting a totally different sound that I would get. It's like I really like the transition between the rhythm part of what you're doing and the single note low thing. You get a lot of snap out of those notes. It's the way you pick.
Totally.
Yeah. Play some more of that just for a second.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll do something a little heavier. And,
Sure.
I'm a big fan of utilizing these things on here because they're there for a reason.
Tone knobs.
Oh, dude. So I'm a big fan of these. So no matter what selection I'm on, I'm always using them. Have to have my bridge wired. I have to have my bridge wired. Anyway, so a lot of times I'll have like both my overdrive and my main sound pedal, which is a way huge green rhino. Like oftentimes, this is here. I'll show you my clean tone real quick.
Sure.
And then, so it's just
real snappy, yeah.
Very, very clear, but still, it's just your standard 606 clean. So it's very clean and crispy. I do have a chorus going all the time, but so this is my main sound. And oftentimes, if I'm singing or say we're playing, like to me, in my mind, this is a clean tone, even though it's not.
Clean in the sense that you would use it as a rhythm tone.
Exactly. So, if I want to beef that up a little bit, I go like that, and then I'm louder. So
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. I like it 'cause it's like the thing about your playing, and the way you're doing this stuff, it's so locked in. It's like and that, to me the thing is about exciting players. It's never a note thing because like I know a lot of people that like don't have the chops to like rhythmically be on, but they play all sorts of notes, and it's like what are you gonna do with that? But it's the exciting players can always they have access to the fast subdivision in a groove, and when you're playing like
I live in Indianapolis, man, and I live in Noblesville, but I'm based out of Indianapolis, I guess. And there's a lot of great musicians here, a lot of phenomenal guitar players. You don't hear people talk the way you're talking right now, and you're talking in a language that I understand. Just thinking from a production standpoint of making music, recording.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to talk to someone that knows this stuff. So continue.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. But it's like to me, hearing a groove like that, I'm always waiting for somebody to go into that realm. Like if the groove is like. It's like that kind of thing. I want to hear like that. Like it needs to get there.
Yeah, breaking down those rhythms, man. There's 1,000 of them in there,
Exactly, and it's like it's like to me the worst thing is to hear a player that like can only play in the subdivision under that the whole solo like
I agree.
you know what I mean? It's like dating somebody who wouldn't take off their pants.
It's kind of like it's kind of like you're funny, man. It's kind of like drummers playing linear drumming and finding those extra spaces to throw accents.
But that's exactly drumming is exactly what it is because the drummer like if you're playing with a drummer that never throws in a fill, it's just you want to hear a certain point in the fucking song like
even if it's not a whole fill, just a subtle accent, a subtle kick accent or a brief
to let you know that their groove is that deep. Right. Yeah,
man, it's pretty cool.
How do you play like over slow stuff like a shuffle? Like how do you approach that? Do you have any songs that are like that? Well, that's like a standard like that kind of those kind of like you play some slow blues in your.
Sure. So I do some slow blues. I do a very traditional like a B.B. King type of simple slow blues, So
how do you approach that rhythmically? Like how just
rhythmically?
Just play.
Well, when I play blues, I try to make myself relax and feel my way through it, because I oftentimes, especially when I'm performing, I react off the audience, So if I'm playing a slow blues, I don't necessarily have a slow like our slow blues could go from 3 minutes to 15, depending on how it is, and we'll utilize the dynamics of the room, bringing things up and down volume wise, so we'll essentially start, very, When I first met you, babe, baby, you was just sweet 16. When I first met you, babe, baby, it was just sweet 16. Anyway, so it'll go from a, we'll start kind of, and that's typically me on a slow blues, and that's not very slow, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. No, I
or
love the way you play lines. Yours
it's,
are like where
it's,
to do
you know,
whatever. You have all these like fast
there's different
rhythms worked
rhythms.
into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So, we'll probably break down at some point, and I'm all about getting the most, and I learned that from listening to a lot of BB King and Freddie King, who's probably top three favorite guitar player for me. But I could hold this all day because I'm still feeling it. Like I still feel the buzzing going through my body when I play this. You know what I'm saying? If I'm playing on a guitar that doesn't have a 725 radius,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dude,
it just
I gotta
depends on
tell you,
where it goes.
I've had some of my favorite like gypsy guitar players like on this thing, and
I've
you're the
seen it,
first guy
man.
that
I
that makes me
You
want to
had a
go
kid on here, man.
practice. No,
Bro, listen, you had a kid on here a couple days ago. When was
oh,
it,
Henry Aker, he's like
bro?
14.
Don't even. I
No, no,
can't.
but it's like in my heart of
No,
hearts, like the gypsy stuff,
he's amazing.
I really like it. It's like I have fun playing it.
Sure.
It's interesting, but it's like
Especially for
man,
music,
but nothing speaks to me like strats and that kind of playing. It just hits me deeper.
Yeah, I
I
mean, I
like.
feel what you're saying.
I mean, I just
I tell
had to
you
go
what, though,
away
man.
from it after a while because it's like I just
Sure.
listened to everybody for so many years that I was just like, okay,
No,
I need a change. But like but I was on vacation. Now I feel like I need to go practice again, learn all your shit.
you're silly, bro.
No,
Um,
the first time I saw
no,
you live, I was
I
like
think.
I was like 5 hours deep into practicing like blues, like just like how's he do
I tell you
that?
what, man. I've never seen somebody as dedicated to their craft as you are. It's really
Uh,
inspiring, and you can tell that. And I'm not. This is not a stroke section. I'm just being straight with you. You can tell that you're extremely dedicated to what you do, and it really shows in your quality and your playing and your passion for your
oh,
instrument.
thank you, dude.
So it goes beyond. I've seen how you play, and I know that your playing goes beyond gypsy jazz. So um, me being 25 and seeing you work the way you work with Marvin, and it's really inspiring for me. Because
Good. You gotta do
my
some touring, man. You gotta get out there,
well,
play for people.
I agree, man. I agree, and it's long overdue for me. But my main focus right now is to put out the best album that I can possibly put out.
Yeah.
and me coming from, a blues background, I when I grew up, young playing music, it was just blues, 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 and it wasn't really me, and and yes, I enjoy playing it. You can be passionate about something and it's still work,
Hmm.
and to me, that was like just work, and
Yeah.
um, it just wasn't fun, for me, being like the young prodigy blues, doing that, trying to do that thing. I wanted to branch out and get away from that. And, if a lot of people who are your blues guitar fans, I try to categorize them as guitar, lovers and people who are passionate about guitar, might listen to my music and say, well, man, there's not, what I'm doing here is not in my music all the time,
Hmm.
um, and I just, that's the music that I make and put out, um, it's not blues, man, and a lot of people I tend to mislead people often with, playing guitar and seeing me play guitar in a 20-second clip, or seeing me play guitar in a short video.
They come to
Uh,
the show to see shredding. They're out for
yeah,
blood.
and you get that. You definitely get that, especially if you come to a show where I'm playing for 3 hours. I mean,
Uh-huh.
don't get me wrong, dude. I'm passionate about this song done right here, So, but I'm more musical. I like using my voice, I
Hmm.
like playing piano. I like playing bass. I like to play with the group. Whoever I'm playing with, man, I like to vibe. Um, and I've really learned how to vibe on music. From I tell you what, just a quick little story, and then I'll quit
Hmm.
talking. I
No,
forgot.
no, no. This is all
Uh,
about talking. This is about
because
stories.
this guy that I'm getting ready to talk about deserves some credit, man. Because
Sure.
I ran into this guy at Guitar Center. I was just in Guitar Center here in Indianapolis. Probably I want to say 4 years ago. Like 2015 ish. And I ran into this guy. His name is Mike Pugh, and he goes by Big Mike Pugh. You guys got to look him up. And he really inspired me. I ran into him in Guitar Center. He's from St. Louis, and I had shows, out at BB's. I see you guys play there.
Hmm.
I had some shows out at BB's at the time, and was doing festival circuits around certain parts of the country. Back when I was doing just blues, and at the time I had this inner artist that needed to come out. And I'm still stuck in, this, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, But me as an artist and being musical, I had something that needed to come out. I mean, dude, I saw Prince when I was in fourth grade. My mom took me to see Prince. I mean, and these are the kinds of things that I loved.
Hmm.
Early on. Elton John, was a big influence on me early on. Um, just from the music, Elvis. Um, Stevie Wonder's right up there with Prince, Michael Jackson, So I mean, I have this, and I use those guys to reference my voice often, and develop the way I sing. And anyway, so I met this guy at Guitar Center, and he was this phenomenal bass player. The guy's just super super tight, super on it 24/7. Probably the best bass player I've ever met and played with, and had the pleasure of playing with. He's just fantastic.
Hmm.
Um, and it opened we had the same, influences musically mostly. We both like that funk. He's a little bit older than me, so he has over the years he's really opened me up to um, a lot of old school stuff that I love. It's just music that I hadn't been, that I never really knew about, that he showed me, and it's really expanded my musical knowledge in the funk realm. But anyway, just meeting him and becoming friends with him, uh, really it influenced me more than anything, to grow and get better. I went to there's a couple times where I went out to St. Louis, and we would get together and have a shed session, and I met all these fantastic artists and musicians out in St. Louis,
Hmm.
and these guys are just top notch players, top notch artists, and it really makes you think, and it's like, I have to grow musically, and this is what I'm thinking at the time, and it's like I have to grow musically. So man, all my shout out to all my my friends in St. Louis who've continued to support me and uh, have this musical fellowship and whatnot, and you guys need to go check out. If you guys are eclectic enough to go listen to some talk box and some bass and some really funky stuff, man, go check out Big Mike Pugh and listen to his music. It's very, very inspiring.
Well, what's it mean for you to what does it mean for you to grow musically? Like, what were the kinds of things that you were doing like that you weren't doing before that you started doing, other than like listening to more music?
Well, I mean, it's as simple as I started picking up the piano, and started this, when you go out there, it's not just, you don't just run into this guy, Phil, that plays guitar. You don't run into, Johnny Jump Up over here. He just plays drums. Dude, these some guns play everything.
Yeah.
And they play it, top notch, so, I wasn't always a multi-instrumentalist or instrument minded person. And then I had to really open my eyes and learning other instruments and being able to take a song, like if I'm listening to a Prince song or a Michael Jackson song or a Stevie Wonder song, being able to break those things down and hear what each instrument's doing and
actually play all the parts.
Yeah, and play all the different parts.
It's weird. I think that has to do like with the growing thing of like home studios. People tend to like each person is like their own band, right? It's like you want to be able to emulate an entire universe.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm all about musically. Especially with making my music, is at the time I was like, dude, I'm going to do an album and I'm going to I've never played keys. This is 2015. I'm like, I've never played keys. I've never played piano. I've never, really, I played bass, but I never really, I don't know what I'm doing. So, I went in the studio and made a record, and based off of all these people's influence, including my guy Mike, other cats out in St. Louis, and including that influence and the music that they exposed me to, taking that stuff and being able to develop my sound, it's different, man. But yeah, it all comes from those guys think like producers, like world-class producers.
Sure.
And
it's frustrating. Sometimes you get you're like, I can't play the bass, and I really hear this bassist and this bass line in my mind. So instead of like looking through Facebook to find a bassist who can play it, let's just learn how to really put down what's in my mind.
Man, over here I've got a mandolin, a banjo, a violin, and it's like you have to, even if you don't know how to play it, you have enough experience to where it's like, I can figure this out and I can make something happen. I can learn how I can learn how to play the piano. I can learn how to, so that growing.
For you, growing is kind of like, for me, my life was always like guitar in a straight line, and you're kind of expanding to other areas to be able to play all these instruments. And it's a different kind of approach.
The downside of it is I compared to most guys, these cats that I'm talking about, these guys started when they were 3 or 4 years old, man, because it's
a lot of time.
It's bred into them. They're just
sure.
When you develop your mind like that at such a young age, it's just like any fantastic athlete or basketball player or anybody who's good at anything, man. You always hear it's like, man, they started young.
You make a lot of connections in your mind.
Serena, LeBron James, these people all started young, and it's being friends with Mike. He has 2 awesome kids, man, 3 awesome kids, but
they're all playing already.
Young daughter, she's kind of too young to play yet, but she plays the harmonica. It's the cutest thing ever. But yeah, they play, man. They play, and it's just amazing to see how fast they've progressed, because that music is in their household.
Yeah. It's that age, you're like a sponge.
It's amazing, man.
That's the thing. I mean, I didn't have that experience. I started playing guitar when I was like almost 15, so I didn't even. But
we're the same, man. I hope I could be like you, man. I mean,
no. Well, I'm an obsessive kind of guy.
Yeah, and there's more things on this thing that I want to learn.
There's things I want to learn from you, which is
sure.
Let's talk about those knobs and the pickup switching you do. and how you use the tone knobs, because that's something that I never do at all. Like yeah. Show me some of the things you gravitate towards, because I noticed like there's a ton of switching in the middle of your lines.
Yeah. So if I am playing something rhythm wise,
Right.
like rhythm wise, what I mean is if I'm playing a line, like I remember I said I like to write riffs, well, let's not take one of mine. Let's take Last Child by Aerosmith, which I do a cover of.
Sure.
So anyway, so when I go to do the free course, I switched to my second position because it's got a
spank,
it's got a spank, man. This is probably my favorite position. Most guys who play similar stuff to what I play prefer the fourth position. I prefer the second. It's very spanky.
You get a lot of bass in that sound. For a lot of people, it thins out, but the way you're picking, it's really like.
I'm a hot mess here. Hold on. But yeah, I mean, and then playing solos, doing certain riffs, require, in my opinion, sonically, what I hear is they require, this deeper.
The neck thing, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
So mid solo, like what I noticed is you're playing a lot of neck, and you hang out on a high note and switch to the bridge to get the gnarliness and back to the neck.
Sure.
That's what you're doing?
Sure. Well, or vice versa. Yeah, exactly. So if I'm taking a solo up, I want to hear a more aggressive. I want to hear a more. So I switch back up for the, as I'm coming up on that climb,
Mid fast line, do you always kind of navigate between bridge and neck, or do you ever like nail it anywhere in between?
Oftentimes, yeah. Especially if it's sorry, I had to turn my volume up a little bit.
Sure. In the middle of a solo, do you ever get to position 2 and 4? Or is that just more for rhythm?
I use it more for rhythm. Now, here's the thing: if I'm playing, pretend I didn't do that.
Yeah. So it's like when it's a really like soloing, but like with like a snappy kind of bass line. So you would do that position 2 and 4. That
personally, yeah. That's bringing it down, especially in a slow blues. Most of my songs, I keep it in the fourth position for just rhythmically. Like I've got a song. I haven't really decided what position I'm gonna play this in, but I know I'm doing it on a strat. Right now, it's recorded in fifth position. So I mean, it's anyway. This is a new song coming out called Freight Train. Actually, I think earlier I meant to reference this song, and I ended up playing another song. So I totally dicked that up. But anyway, this is a song called Freight Train. This is what I was supposed to play earlier when I said I was going to play it. I think I did say Freight Train, but this song is called Freight Train. It's coming on my new album. But it's a very syncopated. A lot of my songs have that really driving, 4-on-floor kick drum, in your face, heavy. That's just what it is, So let's see. Great thing. I'm breaking. Get under pressure, senseless. So I switched to this position, in the song, for when I go back to the riff, I'm very rusty, but
that's hard to do, man. It's like I'm always like,
it's hard to think about it, and especially when you're singing,
yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. That's the thing. Stevie was like a master of that.
That's where I learned. That's where I picked it up from, man. It's like constantly. I remember seeing like live at Austin City Limits where they had like really good camera work at the time, 1990 or 89, and yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing him do this throughout the song, this right here while he's singing, I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah. To me, some people take it a little too far. Like I see Mike Landau play, and he's like fucking dialing in an amp between like every note.
I can't do all that, but
right.
but definitely on my, I do use these things too, man. A lot of times I roll, and I did learn this principle from Joe Bonamassa. It's a very valuable thing that I think he emphasizes. It you don't always have to be on 10. Your tone control doesn't always have to be maxed. You don't always have to be like wide angle. You can be here and here. Like there's a difference. And it really.
So you tend to hang out most of the time around what, like 5 or 6?
Tone
wise, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm on the bridge, which a lot of times I do utilize the bridge too because I play a more aggressive style funk rock, So a lot of times I do stay on the bridge, and just to keep it kind of toned down a little bit.
Tame.
So it does give it that more of aggressive, almost less polished kind of tone. If you're playing with a clean tone and a Les Paul, and the old PAFs are not, these pickups are 8K, man. They're not, they're not these outrageously hot humbuckers, and
sure.
So you can kind of get old. I wind these pretty, fairly hot. My bridge pickup is, and I use clean enamel for my vintage modern set, and these magnet wires sound different. I don't care what people think or say, they do make a difference, and I can tell just by hearing what a pickup sound with how it was wound.
Sure.
And I prefer to use enamel, and it's to my ears, it's generally drier, warmer sound.
And for you, the bridge is like wired to compensate for the volume difference. Like when you switch to the bridge, it's kind of even with your neck.
Well, yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, so this is just generally a beefier part of the guitar on a strat. Mm-hmm. So this right here is to me where you're going to get the most volume, in my opinion. Just volume, not harshness or brightness, but volume. I mean, when I'm here, to me, that's the loudest part of the guitar, the beefiest part of the guitar. When I'm here, if I didn't have this thing, if I had this is like a 6.3K. Mm-hmm. If I had this pickup wound to a 6.3K. Just because of the position that it's in on the guitar,
you disappear.
It's in the most dense part of the guitar. So right. I mean, it would basically be, instead of being this swap, for example, it would be like this. Here's the neck. It'd be more like this. Versus you get the
yeah.
Not as hot as that, but I purposely wind my middle pickup a little bit lower output wise because I find that it makes your fourth and second position really juicy and have that snap. It's very lush.
Yeah. Dude,
So
if I buy one of your guitars, will I get to play like that?
you're silly,
I,
man.
I want
Oh,
that
but I do
vibrato.
I do want to. I do, like I told you, man. I do want to get you a set of my pickups. So
I want all your
I
guitars. Fuck. I want the whole spiel.
I
I want
got
the
you,
whole
man.
thing.
I got you, man. Well,
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy. I see the way you play, and I'm like, man, I'd love to build you one because I guarantee you. What do you play now?
A sewer.
Oh, you can't beat that. That's nice. No, but seriously, man, I would like to and compare it with. So you've got a guitar that you love. I'd love to make it to your specs and have you,
I would love that.
what you think. Let me know what you think, man. I mean, seriously, because
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all about trying to make things better. And if I can get it better, and you find something and say, hey, man, maybe.
Well, I mean, I like your guitars get closer to the tone I like than my guitar does, just in this, hearing it, because it has that metallic snap and the Stevie thing happening. My
Sure.
guitar's a little more tame like that on the high end. It's not.
Sure.
It's not
Yeah, well,
quite as.
I hear in your, and I from what I can hear, I don't know what your pickups around with, but when I hear your tone, I hear more of a foreign bar, traditional '60s foreign bar sound.
Mhm.
And it's a great sound. And matter of fact, the video that you first saw me on, that was I just wound those pickups with foreign bar wire, and if that's the same wire that Fender used back in the day. It's just a coating, it's not necessarily the wire, but it just makes things sound different, man. And it makes the wire thicker and thinner, depending on what coating is on there, and you just it's all special stuff, man. And
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how much magnet wire affects your tone, and how the way that they're wound, how they're adjusted inside. I keep mine relatively low, but I always keep my bridge pretty much, not maxed out, but I keep it pretty level,
Mhm.
all the way around, even though it's a stagger wound pickup. I keep it pretty level, and just to compensate, volume wise, I usually crank up my neck pickup here on the my
Just to
treble
get the
side
treble side a little hotter. Yeah.
to compensate, because like I said, volume, man, you're not gonna. That's the beefiest part.
Yeah. And what
You
what do you do
suckers,
in
man.
terms of like the bridge setup? Like, how many springs are you using in the back?
I'm just using 3.
3? All right, standard like
Yep,
me.
just three basic. Yeah. I'm not. I use my tremolo. I use my tremolo a lot, but um, I use 10s, so 3 is plenty for me.
Yeah. You,
Sometimes I use 11s, depends on how I'm feeling. But on a
yeah.
72 radius, I can't. Trying to bend 11s is a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you
I have
use string wise?
11s
11s. Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Man, you got strong hands, man.
I really don't. I'm just
You're
yeah.
a true guitar player.
Say again?
You're a true guitar player, man. Um,
Well, the thing is, I bend and I use my bridge goes up like a flatted third when I pull it, like Jeff Beck style. So if I use 10s, it's like science every time. Like second set, like I have 2 hours to play and the E string pops no matter what. So I just yeah. So with 11s,
now hearing this, that would be a challenge for me to build you something that, okay, I want to, hearing the things that you're talking about, like, how you like your trim to pitch up. I keep mine flat as a pancake,
yeah.
and that's just, for me, that's just the way I keep mine, but it's like I said, I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
it's nowhere near, it's not,
Yeah.
I just keep it to where, yeah, so you can pitch up, I keep it to where it's pretty much just, flat on the body as it can be, and
sure, yeah. For me, it's like really integrated into my playing, so it's like I have my thing like that, which makes it like those Suhr guitars are really the only guitars I've ever had that don't just go crazy out of tune when I play. I don't know.
Now,
I don't know exactly.
Are you using a 2-point trim or is it a 6-point? Is it a 6-point trim?
It's a 2-point, so it looks like a 6-point, but it's like those Goto.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a nice guitar. The way I'm gonna have. Do you know Scott Henderson? Um,
I've heard the name. Heard the
yeah,
name.
yeah. So yeah, he played in Tribal Tech and he uses those guitars and he does crazy shit with the trem. So like I knew that those guitars are gonna stay in tune and I got to play his guitar. It's just like, all right, I want that.
That's awesome.
You know? Yeah,
Man,
man. What?
you got to show me that chromatic run.
Oh
I
yeah.
really
Well,
I
your
hear you
name
play
is
that.
Django.
That's right, man. And I'm sure people are like, he calls himself Django. It's like, no, you know what? That is my name, whether you like it or not. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, show me that thing, man, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. Yeah. So the whole thing is just you got to think about that lick in two parts, and it's really a rhythmic thing. So you got to think about 16th notes and how they're gonna land. So it's like wagga digga 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 da, right? So it's like a real perfect like two measure lick in 4/4, like 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a da. So now the first half of it's pretty simple. So you go like, right?
Now, are you?
So two finger.
You're not starting. Are you starting on E?
You're starting on an E, F, F sharp,
Okay.
G. But then that
You're
pattern.
so smooth. Your
the
fingers
pattern-
make you so smooth.
The pattern is just that, right? One like 0 fret, first finger, second finger, and then slide that finger forward. So you got to get that move. Down, up, just alternating, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Now you do the same thing on every string. So think about like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first half of the lick.
Okay.
Now the tricky part is here. It's 1, 2, right? And now 3.
Do it one more time.
Yeah.
The second
1.
part again.
Oh, so that's 1, 2. Now what you're gonna
Are you starting
on the B string? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So now that's the tricky part for most people.
that's E. Okay, so wait a minute.
So it's
the
E to E. So you play it on an E7, it's like, right?
I see.
Now what you want to do though is the slide forward. Now the way the wrong way to practice that is to think rhythmically about each one of these things is like a micro shift in your left hand, like that. It's a slide. It's a slide with your elbow.
Right.
So
are you? I can see that. Okay.
So it's
my assessment of you playing it. I can see that you're so good that it's natural to you. You can be reading a book and be doing that chromatic with all the fretboard.
right.
No. Cool.
So yeah, it's about getting the motion, and I think really what you want to do is look at your thumb, because it's like when you're going. As a reference point that's showing you the motion of the slide. So you want to be able to play 16th notes, meaning like going tagga 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 down, tagga 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 down, right? 1E and a 2E and a 3, and go tagga 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 down, tagga 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 down. So but like moving a note, sliding it up. So this one is actually like perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's 1, 2, 3. Land on 4. So it starts on the open string.
This is awesome, dude.
Yeah. So it's all you. The way you're fretting it is 1, 2 with your index finger, and then once you get here, everything else is a slide. Right. So. Yeah, it's exactly that. So look at your thumb when you're doing it. Now, the thing is, going backwards, you see there's a forward angle with your fingers right here when you go forward, but when you go backwards, it's easier to straighten your thumb and go this way, right? It's like the angle of the fingers is here, and going backwards, shift your thumb and your fingers going.
Right? See, it's one thing to get the timing going forward, but to get to because I'm thinking of it. Here's how I'm here's how I'm registering what you're showing me, and from me playing it. I'm feeling my frets, and I'm not necessarily counting, but just
No,
from my,
you should just
just
do
from
point A to point B. It's not about feeling the
right.
frets. You just gotta.
But what I'm saying is that's how in my mind it's registering. So if I'm along with hearing it and hearing where I'm at, I am. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think
I'm feeling that the edge of that fret. You know what I'm saying? And
as a rhythmic guide,
from, right, exactly.
right.
That's
But you got to really plan how many beats you have to get there. You have 12 frets, so from 0 to and it's divided into groups of 4. So you have 3 of them. Wagga digga dagga digga dagga digga 12. Wagga digga dagga digga dagga digga 12. Right. So the way Django does it a lot of time, by the way, to get a more aggressive sound, is he slides up on the B string, not the E string, and it gets you like that crazy attack you're hearing like the Django solos. It's like like the B string starts getting much gnarlier. Right.
Yeah.
So that's all that lick is.
That's unbelievable, dude.
Anyway, it's not about. We're gonna post this, and it's about you. So how about you tell the people where to find you online? The guitars, the music. What's a good place to look for you?
I'm everywhere, man. I mean, Instagram, especially Facebook.
What's your Instagram?
Just Django Knight. Django Knight. And everything's Django Knight, and the company, my guitar company, is Django Guitar Co. So you can find that everywhere, man. Facebook, Instagram. I just launched my Facebook and Instagram page like probably a month and a half ago. So I'll be coming out with my actual models that'll be available here in the next few months. And definitely got to get you one of them.
Yeah, I want that extreme relic yellow one that you have.
Oh yeah.
I love that color.
That's a trip, man. Yeah, that guitar is a trip, man. That guitar is a complete trip. But yeah, man, I got you, dude. I really appreciate you having me on here, man. But I'm easy to find, man. Django Knight. I got music on on every listening platform. And probably anywhere they still sell CDs. I know probably there too. But yeah, man, I have a new record coming out in July, and it'll be my first full-length record, and I'm looking forward to putting it out and being different.
Yeah.
A lot of people will listen to my stuff and see that it's not blues. I do have a blues rock project out there, but I did that when I was a kid. But my last project I put out in 2016, and it's very. If you like Stevie Wonder and you like Prince and you like Michael Jackson and you like Jimi Hendrix and you put all them together, you might like that album.
Well, dude, thank you so much. This is you're so generous with your time and your knowledge. We really, really appreciate you, man.
No, I'm speechless that you even had me on here, man. I really am grateful for the opportunity, and I look forward to opening up for you guys, man. I'd love to
it's gonna be fun.
Up at Reggie's, man. We need to link up and get a show going.
We'll do that.
Let's get it.
Thank you, Django.
Rock and roll, bro.
See you soon. Bye.